Hey everyone, this is a full recording of our EV night here at Scarboro Kia. If you've been thinking about going electric or you just want to learn more about EVs, how they work day to day, this is really a good place to start. We go through the Kia EVs lineup, we talk about charging, the costs in Ontario, and we answer a lot of common questions people have before making a switch. Feel free to skip around or watch the whole thing, and if you have any questions after watching it, just reach out to us. Hope you enjoy it. Hi everybody. I'm Mark, I'm the sales manager here at Scarboro Kia. I just want to quickly thank you all for coming in on a Thursday night with the weather and everything that's going on. I'll quickly introduce our team for you. This is Hassan, he's our business manager. Behind you are 3 sales reps, Oswaldo, Juan, and Raj. And then our other team members are Mike and Justice over there. And we invited you all in to learn a little bit about EVs. A lot of people don't know about them. So we're here to help you with any questions that you have and hopefully spark your interest, especially with gas prices at $1.70 or higher. So right now is an exciting time for Kia, especially because we have a great EV lineup. So let's start the show. Tonight we'll go through a couple different things. We'll show you the actual cars that we're offering right now. Hassan will go through different ways to charge your car and the costs of ownership of owning an EV vehicle and how that all works out. I will go through the different cars, and then we have the opportunity to test drive all the cars. We have them all outside ready for you guys, so hopefully you'll take advantage of that. We'll do a little one-on-one or multiples depending on how many people are here, and we'll answer any questions that you may have along the way. So hopefully they'll reach out to us. We will start with our lineup. So right now we have 4 different cars. In a month we're going to have a 5th one. So right now we start with the EV4, that's the black one right behind you. It's a 4-door sedan, similar in size to a Tesla Model 3. But way less expensive. That's the beauty of it. But offers a great range and all that. We'll go through all the different models in a second, but let's go back to the last slide for a second. Yep. After the EV4 is the EV6, which is a little bit of a crossover sports car, more individual driver, sportier feeling car. After that we have the EV9, which is our big 7-passenger SUV type vehicle. It's again way less expensive than the competition. It's the least expensive 7-passenger full SUV EV on the market, which is nice. We have the Niro, which is the white one behind you, which traditionally has come in either a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, also has a full EV version of it. Right now with huge factory incentives from Kia, up to $10,000 altogether, so it really makes it affordable, especially if you're leasing, which is nice. And then coming soon, not on this slide, but it'll be on a different slide, is the all-new EV5, which is a new SUV, roughly the size of a Kia Sportage, that's coming out. We will get our first one in mid-April in front-wheel drive, and then we will get all-wheel drive later in the year, like September, October. And that should be a very competitive vehicle. And they're pricing the initial models at a price that will qualify for the government rebates, which we'll also get into a little bit later. Okay, so let's go into the EV4. So we're most excited about that. It's a brand new model for this year. It's also a model unique to Canada. It was supposed to go to the US, but they decided not to, so it is here uniquely, and also in Europe. And in Europe they offer a hatchback version, here they offer a sedan version. To go a little bit more, it has a range up to 552 kilometers, which is really good, especially in a car in that price range. It has the NAX port, which is the new, which is the Tesla style of charging port, so you can charge at Tesla stations and everywhere else. It's built on the same platform as the EV6, same architecture as that car, and it has a full safety equivalent forward collision avoidance, blind view monitor, and all kinds of different stuff like that. EV4 here, EV4 there, EV4 outside, and we have even more. That's actually even on top of everything else, is that it's actually available, which is really nice, and a great price point on it. EV6 is the next one, and this car, the EV4, they're all front wheel drive, just so that you know. The EV6 does come with an all wheel drive option. Starts at 320 horsepower and even more torque than that, so that car just like really takes off. It's got a 24.6-inch panoramic display inside, and it's really a sports car in a EV package, which is what's really cool about it. And again, all the different Kias come in different trim levels, so depending on the equipment that you're looking for. Now, none of them are basic. Everything has heated seats, everything has backup camera, and all the bells and whistles that people are used to. But if you want leather seats, or you want fancier wheels, or you want fancier stuff, that's where it comes into the different price points. After that will be the EV9. As I mentioned, that is a full-size SUV. I have one outside. It does fit in the showroom. We just happened to sell the one that we had in the showroom, so now we're outside. Again, different trim levels. There is a GT trim, which is 501 horsepower. Again, with the instant torque that these cars have, it's like a rocket ship, considering how big it is and that you can put 7 people into it. It is a top safety pick, and it compares to other cars at over 90,000, 130,000. It starts at 63. So really like 2/3 the price, 1/3 the price of the competition out there. And it's a great looking and very cool vehicle, and instantly recognizable as soon as you see it, which is nice. The other thing is that right now Kia isn't offering the Telluride in Canada, so the EV9 is the next logical progression to that. So that's well worth it. Next up is the Niro. Niro is tried and true. It's been on the market since 2007, but a lot of people don't know that it exists. They should know. It's a great vehicle. It's the right size. It's the most fuel economy, whether you get the full EV or the hybrid or the plug-in hybrid. It's great for young families. Again, great size. Fits everywhere. A lot of businesses use them. So all kinds of stuff like that with the Niro. Coming soon is the EV5. EV5 is going to be Sportage sized. It's a new category, really. Not many people have a car in this range in terms of size. They're all going to be 5-passenger. Again, they're going to have front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options on it. And again, the Tesla charging station. The base model is going to qualify for the $5,000 of federal EV money. And that's the only car that we don't have tonight to test drive, but April 19th we're supposed to get our first one. So you're all invited back, but I don't know if there will be food when you come back to second. Okay. I'm now going to pass it over to Hassan. Hassan owns an EV. We're not going to mention what brand it is, but he does own an EV, and he's very familiar with the way the infrastructure and how EV charging and stuff works. So I will pass you over to Hassan.
All right, thank you. All right, good day, gentlemen. So how does EV charging work? This is the main concern for most people when they're buying an EV. They're just like, it's not like fueling a car, so how does this work? So it's pretty simple. There's 3 steps. You can get a level 1, which is just a regular plug that you have at home. So everybody's gonna get a wire that comes with the vehicle that you can do that. It's incredibly slow. It's very slow. You could charge it for 2 days and you probably won't get very much out of it. The level 2 is the standard one that I have at home right now. At this point, with most vehicles, you can get the Tesla one. There's the Kia version. There's so many different versions of level 2 that you can get installed at home. And then there's the DC fast, which is your charging stations that you see for Tesla, or the ones that you see at petrol. Certain locations have those. Those are incredibly fast. Within 30 minutes, you should have about 80% charge done on those. All the newer cars have the NACS, which is compatible with the superchargers at Tesla. Let's move on to the next one so we can see how much these actually charge us. Okay, so this is where we're really looking at the value of an EV. Most people don't know this, but there is a way that you can charge at a very low rate. It's the ULO right in the middle there. You'll see that most people can charge at 3.9 cents per kilowatt, which is pennies to charge. It's just most people don't know that you have to actually call your grid system and let them know, like Hydro One or whoever you deal with, just let them know, hey, I want to go on this plan. Now that's strictly for people who want to charge overnight. So I'll explain how mine charges. I put a timer on the car using the app. I let it know what time I want to charge and when I want it to stop. So when I'm home, plug it in, I go to sleep, I forget about it. Overnight, it starts charging exactly at the time I want. My time is 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, it'll start charging. It'll do a trickle charge, so it'll charge knowing how much time it has, and it'll fully charge it by the morning for me, based on the percentage that I want. Now that really works well with that one because that starts at 11 o'clock at night. Even I wasn't aware of this, to be honest with you. I just recently found out from Mike, so I'm probably going to call and ask for that myself. Because I'm on the one that everybody is, where you're from 7 o'clock at night to 7 a.m. and you do all the laundry and you do everything. And that's a standard plan that most people are on. And then you have a third plan, which I probably wouldn't recommend, but if it works for you and you need to charge it on the day. So for example, I have a real estate buddy and he's like, he needs to be on the road all the time. He needs to charge all the time. So for him, that plan makes more sense. It really depends on what you need and what works best for you. We're gonna go move on to the home charger installation. Yep, okay, perfect. So most were like, okay, is the charger included? No, the charger is not included for the level 2. You get your basic charger, which is called the mobile charger that you can plug into anything. To do the level 2 charger, it's not that expensive. It really depends on what you want. So let's pick the most expensive charging unit on the market right now. The universal Teslas are about $1,000. What gets costly is it depends on how safe you want to be at home. So all you got to do is get an ESA certified individual, electrician, to come in and install it. So they'll add a permit to it, so you get the warranty on the device as well, which typically comes with 2 to 3 years depending on the unit that you buy. And that unit has to have wiring done. So for example, my house went from the box from the basement, all the wiring to get to the garage, and then I'm kind of like fidgety about this, so I had to run at the top of the garage all the way to between the 2 doors. So that ran me about $800, which isn't that bad. $800 plus $1,000 for the install, $1,800 total is what it costs me. There are cheaper units available. There are cheaper options available. A lot of people are also concerned about what kind of upgrades I have to do at home. So my house is newer, so I have a 200 amp, but let's assume you didn't have a 200 amp and you needed something different. So they have an option for 100 amp homes. This is specific to Kia. So they have an option where the 100 amp home works with a little device. Mike, what's that device called?
Variable grid.
Sorry?
Variable grid.
Variable grid.
And it uses current clamps
Yes,
to
there you go.
determine the house usage.
Yes, so Mike knows a little bit more about the variable grid smart charging. So basically it's just a device that acts smart and knows that your house is not on 200 amps, it's on 100 amp, and it'll charge according to that, so it doesn't blow the fuse or blow the box itself. You don't actually have to upgrade to a 200 amp, so that's one concern that people usually have, is like, think about the cost of having to upgrade something like that. So with Kia, you don't have to. We have an option for individuals who are on 100 amp, which is some of the older homes, right? Okay, let's move on to, and you can also add it to your financing, by the way. So if you needed that when you're purchasing the car, obviously you don't want to pay cash out of your pocket. If you want to put it into the financing at the low rates that are available on the EVs, you can do that as well. Okay, so Ontario's clean grid, and then the final one. So I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, you know, you have this electric car, but you're not really helping the environment, you're using all this fuel to charge it. That's not necessarily true for us here in Ontario, because about, I think it's 90% or above, comes in the evening, comes from nuclear. So most of our energy is clean source energy, which is nuclear, hydro, wind, solar, and I think it's 84% of the grid reduction happened in 2005, and in 2014 we were the first ones in North America to lower our usage when it comes to it. So you don't have to be too concerned whether am I doing the right thing for the environment. You're totally fine, at least in Ontario. At least in Canada we're totally good because we have the proper infrastructure to support it. I didn't know this, so I guess I'm part of the solution here. At night, a lot of that energy that sits there, it's wasted. So if I'm charging at night, which is what you're going to probably do, overnight charging, you're actually taking from the grid that's just sitting there getting overloaded. You're actually helping out. Charging during the day when everybody's at home and all the lights are on, it's a little bit different, but we can still handle that based on the different types of energy that we have available. So that's a good thing for us. So will all the fuel issues, all the oil issues that are happening in the Middle East and everywhere else affect us? I'm sure it'll affect in certain ways if you have to fuel your car, but for the EVs it shouldn't, because our grid can handle charging these EVs. So yeah, that's what I have, and then we're going to get into the EVAP program, and I'm going to give it back to Mark. You guys have any questions about before I move on? Because I do actually have a vehicle, electric vehicle. Anything on these things about charging? Yes.
Do all of the Kia EVs come with whatever the battery needs to stay warm for when you're talking about that?
Okay, so they all have built-in technology. All EVs do, where it what's the word? It heats the engine up and it heats the cabin up actually to make sure that the battery doesn't get too cold. And vice versa in the summer, it's the same. It cools it down because it gets really hot at points, so it'll cool it down so that you will lose some usage because of that, but better than a blown battery or a dead battery. But yes, it does. They all do. Yes. Yes.
So in cold weather, you see a significant drop?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna be honest. I live in Innisfil. You guys know where that is?
Yeah.
Very basically. So I'm doing about 300 kilometers a day. My vehicle says that it can do about 500 kilometers on a full charge. So I because of the drive in the winter, I usually charge it to about 95%, even though it's not recommended. It's recommended daily use is 80% on all of these vehicles, but you have to do what you have to do. So I do 95% in the winter. During the summer, I do 80% and I have more than enough. So you lose about 15 to 20% of your charge based on it constantly having to heat itself up. And I drive that car like it's a rocket, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever sat in one. It goes. I have too many speeding tickets because of it. But yes, to answer your question, absolutely, it does take a bit of a toll on the charge, on the battery capacity in the winter. These cars weren't necessarily built for the Canadian weather, but they seem to be getting better and better every year. So all these newer cars, when I bought my car in 2022 December, unfortunately overpaid for it, these options didn't exist. There was only 2 options on the market at that time. You can guess which one of them was, and the other one was on a 2-year wait. But now we have so many different options. I've had my eye on that EV9 for a little while now. The EV6 was great, but the EV9 is something else, right? Any other questions right now? No? Okay, I'm gonna pass it on to Mark.
Okay, so the good news is that about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, the federal government came out and said, hey, we're going to give you back EV rebates. They were in place about 2 years ago, up until about 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden, overnight, without telling anybody, they shut it off. So people that had orders for cars ended up losing. Dealers that didn't do their paperwork for the customers that had bought their cars ended up losing. It was a big, really nightmare that the government put in place, and then it just disappeared. There was nothing in place. But now the government has come back stronger than before with an all-new program which they call EVAP, and so we're excited. So basically the way that it works is EVs up until $50,000 transaction price. Now that's a funny word, which people don't really use because it's not MSRP, it's not what the car is selling for, but it's what they call the transaction price. If it's 50,000 Canadian dollars or lower, then the car will qualify. So there isn't a list of cars that qualify, and if there was a list, it would change often depending on what the manufacturers want to do. So if the standard price of a car is 60,000, but the manufacturer says this car now has a $10,000 rebate on it, now that car qualifies where it wouldn't have before. So that's one of the nice things about Kia is they've taken a couple select models and they've put a factory incentive on it to lower the threshold of the car so that it now meets the criteria. So that's a neat thing. So basically the way that it works is plug-in hybrids are up to $2,500 and full EVs are up to $5,000, up to a transaction price of $50,000. Now that transaction price doesn't include freight, it doesn't include tax, it doesn't include extended warranties or gap insurance or anything else that covers it, but it does cover what's included with the car. So if you added a spoiler to the car, that has to be within the $50,000. If you want to tint the windows, that has to be within the $50,000. But anything else, if the car is MSRP is 38 and you add a whole bunch of stuff to that and you get to 50, you're good. If you buy a car that's $49,995 and don't add anything else to it other than the freight taxes and all that kind of stuff, you're still good. That's the beauty of this program. Now every year for the next 5 years, the program is going to go down by a fifth. So right now the $5,000 maximum as of January 1st is going to become a $4,000 maximum, and as of January 1st the next year is a $3,000 maximum, and then 2, then 1, then no more program. Now the government is always free to change things on us at any time, which they sometimes do, but if you want a car now, between now and December is going to be the best time to get it. Now, The $5,000 rebate works for cash or finance or lease if you're doing 48 months or 60 months. If you do less than 48 months, so you do a 36-month lease, you would only get 3/4 of the amount. If you do a 2-year lease, you only get half the amount. If you only get 1 year, then it's only $1,250 instead of $5,000. And that works the same way for the PHEVs. The 2,500 goes down to 2,000 to 1,500, 500, and all that. So, but it is great. It's easy to do. It takes place at the dealership. There are forms to fill out, but we fill it out for you. The rebate comes immediately off the after-tax value of the car, so that there's basically nothing out of pocket. You don't have to pay $5,000 and then get reimbursed the $5,000. It just comes right off the deal, right off the bat. The caveat: you're only allowed to buy one per 4 years, I believe. It might be
One
5 years.
lifetime.
Okay, so lifetime. So once ever, but if you do have a spouse or somebody at the same household, it's not reserved to the household, it's reserved to the individual name. So as long as we can put it into a different name at the same address, you could qualify for a second or third car down the road. But it is a one-time application as it stands right now. Any questions on the process for this or anything with the rebates? It doesn't work if you bought a car before. We've had customers that picked up their EV last year and now saying, can I get the rebate? No, unfortunately not.
What's the, I see that you have a $10,000 on that.
Yeah, so on the Niro in particular, especially that trim level, the SX, Kia Canada is offering a $5,000 incentive on it, and then you get the $5,000 for the government. So that particular car, as you see it, has a $10,000 incentive on it because Kia lowered the price. And this green Sorento PHEV here has $2,500 from the government, and if you're paying cash, there's $1,000. So this car has $3,500 on it right now instead of what you see at $25,000. So it depends on model, and then certain cars just won't qualify. Unfortunately, the EV9 doesn't have a trim level that will qualify for any of the rebates. The brand new EV4 has 5 trim levels. 4 of them qualify. The top one, which is called GT Line Limited, doesn't qualify. So with time and stuff, now this is a brand new model, so it just came out, so Kia doesn't really have to throw any extra money at it yet, but with time we'll tell if something else is going to happen down the road. But for right now, 4 out of the 5 work. For the new EV5 that's coming, I think it's coming in 8 trim levels, the first 2 qualify.
8 trim levels?
Yeah, because they're going to offer front wheel drive and all wheel drive versions of both cars, and then you have your standard LX, EX, SX. And then I think they have a couple more mixed into all that. So right now, the 2 base models, which will be the first ones that we actually get, will qualify for the $5,000 on it. EV6 does not qualify, and the Niro does qualify. So 3 out of our 5 cars will get you some kind of discount, which is nice. Yeah. Yeah, this just shows we're cheaper. Don't need to go into the details and the numbers, but as in the Kia world, we always have one of the best warranties out there. We have a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer comprehensive warranty on the car, and then our EV stuff is 8-year, 160,000 kilometer specifically for the EV battery. And then we do sell extended warranties that can take the standard warranty and the EV battery and take it up both to 10-year or 200,000 kilometers for that. And then again, all that stuff can be worked into your finance price, and extended warranty is not part of the $50,000 cap, so you can add any extended warranty that you'd like, which is good. But great value for the cars in terms of everything, in terms of the features, in terms of the size, in terms of the rebates, in terms of everything. You're really ahead. Okay, Chinese EVs. Fawn? No. Chinese EVs are coming. We all know that they're coming, but a couple things that aren't really reported in the news or that isn't made vastly public. First of all, there's no infrastructure yet for any EV dealer to come here, which means there's no Chinese dealerships. So unless they go with an online plan and you don't get to see the cars or you don't get to do whatever, you can't just go and see the cars, test drive them, play with them, and see what they're doing. So there's no infrastructure, which also means that if you do eventually buy one and something goes wrong, there's also no dealer network of servicing and stuff like that. So what they've planned, I don't know. Obviously something is going to happen eventually, but if you wanted to open a brand new dealership today, it's going to take you a year or 2 even just to build the physical building of it. We're going to be doing renovations soon, and just getting the permits and everything, it takes years to modify our existing building. Again, with the Chinese EVs, only 49,000 of them are going to be allowed in the first year. Now, a couple things to think about with that number. First off, it's probably not going to be this year, because they need to build all this. They need to make sure that these cars meet Canadian crash testing and stuff like that. If you remember the original 1984 Hyundai, and if you remember the original 1999 Kias, they weren't necessarily the best of cars, because they didn't really know this market. Even if you go back further, the original Honda Civic, the original Toyota Corolla, didn't know Canada. So these cars weren't good. So it bid, although they might be a company that exists already, they don't have Canadian weather, they don't have Canadian roads, they don't have Canadian drivers. So when these cars get here, they may not be good cars. And then they won't be backed with the same 5-year 100 warranty that our cars have. So again, it's an unknown. Would you rather buy from a known entity or from a completely unknown where we don't know anything about it? We don't even know if the user manuals will be in English, if the controls will be in English. We hope that they will, and I'm sure they've done their marketing, but it is a different thing out there. The other thing is, everybody says that these Chinese cars are going to come in and they're going to be cheaper. There's no real reason for them to be cheaper, although they might have models that will have less content, or maybe less fuel efficient, not fuel efficient, but less efficient. We don't know what they're going to bring here yet. With that being said, if they're only bringing in 49,000 cars, well, they're not going to do that to lose money on each vehicle. So if they're going to sell 800,000 cars in Canada, or 1 million cars in North America, or whatever it is, then they have the option to make money, to lose money on some cars, make money on other cars. Here, if they're going to bring the cars here and offer a support and a network and whatever, they're going to want to make money on each car. So they're not going to undercut the competition by significant numbers. So I can't imagine that it's going to be that much cheaper. What we do know now is that we're here. Scarboro Kia has been here 25 years, 26 years.
Yeah. Since I've been here.
Yeah. We're not going anywhere. We're about to renovate and become a super dealer on top of everything else. Even 6 months ago, we didn't even sell EVs. We weren't an EV dealer. Now we are. So we're not going anywhere. The products are great. So that's the reasons to consider our cars over the Chinese. Again, we don't even know when they're coming or what's happening. So if you're in the market now, there's a reason to buy now. Warranty I mentioned already, but as we see, we have a 5-year, 8-year EV components and extendable up to 10 years of full stuff. So best warranty in the business. Okay, that's basically it for my speech. So what we can do is, first there's a lot of refreshments, so help yourself and all that. Then I have my 3 sales guys outside, and Hassan and myself. We can take test drives either individually or as groups, so you can see the different cars that we have to offer. Anybody have any questions about anything that I've said so far? There's no quiz or test later.
So the Kia Sorento, is this plug-in or is it?
This particular one is a plug-in hybrid.
So that means it runs on petrol and
Yes,
gas.
yeah. So there's a gas engine and an electric engine.
Okay.
If you plug it in and charge it, you'll have a range of roughly 50 to 55 kilometers. So if you're just doing short distances, you take the kids to school and back, or to the grocery store and back, then you would never have to put gas in this car. But if you want to take this car and drive to Montreal, you don't even have to stop to charge. You don't have to do anything. You'll probably get about 800 kilometers on a tank of gas. And if you don't charge it, or you don't have the ability to charge it, then it works just like a regular hybrid. So that's the nice thing about this car. It's really, really flexible. Now this is the plug-in hybrid. They also make a hybrid version, which will be a little bit less expensive. And both cars are available, and we have them both in stock. But the hybrid doesn't qualify for the government rebates.
Okay.